Yep.
All good. All right, welcome everybody. Let's call our June 12th, 2025 regular town board meeting in order. And ask you please stand up.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All righty, thank you. We'll start out, we have a hearing. Is Mrs. Eddie here? Maybe not, huh? About 180 Chestnut Avenue, demolition of the unsafe and dangerous home. She's not here. If he's here, come in, let me know. Okay? All right, let's move right into the report by elected officials and department heads. Town clerk, Rebecca.
May income. The clerk's office total income for May is $70,224.79. $1,605.96 are fees of sales that paid back to the Department of Health, Ag and Markets, DEC, and the New York State Comptroller. And the remaining $68,618.83 will be remitted to the supervisor's office. Revenue totals include $3,880 from recycling sales, $1,225 in rental fees, that's 5 community center and 3 pavilion rentals, $256 in dog licenses, 8 original, 33 renewals, $63,257.83 are miscellaneous fees, making up from $632.50 from vital statistics, $146.54 from Games of Chance, $150 from Easy Pass Tags, sold 16. $61,750 from summer camp registrations. We have a total of 177 campers. $500 in peddler's license. $78.79 is our DEC commission from $1,347.21 in sales. Over the past month, I participated in several meaningful professional and community events. I attended a New York State Archives webinar titled Creating Plan Files, which provided useful guidance on organizing and managing municipal records more effectively. On June 2nd, I participated in the quarterly meeting of the Rensselaer County Municipal Clerks Association, held at the Town Tavern in Averill Park. Our guest speaker was Bob Geyer, an animal control officer for the towns of Sand Lake, East Greenbush, and Postenkill. He spoke passionately about the increasing issue of abandoned dogs in our communities and the important role we play in addressing this concern. Additionally, on May 31st, I attended the memorial service for Jennifer Mann. It was a moving and beautiful tribute to a cherished member of our community. Her legacy of kindness and service was deeply felt by all in attendance. A passage from the service particularly resonated with me and reflects the kind of values that build a strong, compassionate community. From Leviticus 19:11 through 18, do not steal, do not deceive or cheat one another, do not insult the deaf or cause the blind to stumble. You must fear your God. I am the Lord. Always judge people fairly. Do not spread slanderous gossip among your people. Confront people directly so you will not be held guilty for their sin. But love your neighbor as yourself. I am the Lord. This reminder of integrity, justice, and love of neighbors is one I carry with me in service in our town. Respectfully submitted, Rebecca Del Ghizo.
Okay, thank you. Entertain a motion to approve her report.
I'll make it.
Can I have a second? All in favor? Yeah,
Flick,
come on.
maybe flick, should be.
Okay, Highway Department, Mr. Bailey. Put that up, Michael, you're a
I don't really want to talk to you anyway. You have to do it. My main report, June, it's patching 5 men for 15 days. Recycling, we had one man for 1 day, and then the other dumpsters that we slowly accumulate over the month of miscellaneous different stuff. Shop work, 5 men for 4 days, different rain days, working on trucks, getting things taken apart together. We have 3 men that spend a lot of time. One man just mowing roadsides, had 1 man for 12 days, just mowing all the time on the roadsides. Then we have ball field mowing. Rodney Rogers spends his whole summer just mowing and mowing. Forest Gump, he just burns mowers up doing that. So he has 13 days of mowing this month. Our in-house carpenter, Mr. Hayner, replaced the stairs over at the beach that were tattered and broken. So him and Rod went over, tore them out, remade them 2 new sets and put them back in place. It was 2 days of stair manufacturing that they did. 1 day, we took 4 men went over and cleaned up the beach, getting it prepped for the summer program. 6 or 7 banners came in, so we sent 2 men out for a day, put the banners up before Memorial Day for all the veterans. Mr. Mason runs our grade off, does a beautiful job with it. He spent 16 days this month just going around ditching, cleaning up the watering, trying to keep things ahead of everything. Does a fantastic job for you. I mean, what you can do with the machine. The last week, we had 7 men for 4 days picking up all the brush and bags in town. It's a monthly thing. So we're done now. our newest addition to the crew, Will Ashley, has taken up the sweeper, and he's a one-man show. He's had 18 days in the last month just sweeping roads in the town with a new sweeper that he provided. Works great, really does a nice job, very clean and comfortable working machine. Will handles it very well, had a lot of compliments on his work. 2 men picking up bags for 5 days. We started out doing some crack sealing on the roads. I had 4 men for 5 days. I had rented the machine for a month, but then we looked ahead and saw the rain coming, so I gave it back home so I could not have to pay the rental on it. So we'll have to get back at that as soon as the weather changes. I had 2 men running around in front of all these storms, just checking catch basins and culverts, trying to stop the trouble. And, 3 men for 1 day, fixing catch basins somewhere. That's my report.
All right. Entertain a motion to accept Mr. Bailey's report.
I'll make it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, who's next? Mr. Bradley?
Short people.
Yeah.
Good evening. Water and sewer report for May 2025. The Vanderheiden Dam project continues to progress. The new highway culvert is in place. The foundations and footings have been completed. The vertical wall, referred to as training walls, they're approximately 50% complete. There's a meeting with the county highway department to review the changes in the road profile. That has been designed, and the contractor is proceeding with they're casting with the specific DOT requirements for height and everything else. So they were casting the end walls in place today. So that was done. So we're progressing. We're trying to get that road back into service. And the original target date was, early part of July, I think, because of weather, and now it's going to get pushed back another week probably or so to get the road reestablished there. Let's see. Okay, and weather's been an issue with both. It's a blessing and a curse, because the reservoir came up 20 inches over the weekend, to the point where now we got to start letting water out again to maintain a level that, so that we can, safely maintain our work zone. We're up to 3 foot below elevation at this particular point in time. The new sewer lift station for Walmart has been ordered. I'm waiting on a confirmation of the delivery. It was estimated at 4 months originally. There's a resolution. Let's see, is this one? There, yes. There's a 2 resolutions actually in front of the board tonight for acceptance of a water and sewer maintenance role, and a resolution for the amendment to the water and sewer maintenance role. There are also 2 resolutions in front of the board tonight for the Brunswick Acres subdivision project off of New York Route 2. One of the petitions is to establish a drainage district. The town will be responsible for maintaining the stormwater related controls and detention ponds once this project is completed and turned over to the town. The stormwater collection along the road itself will be part of the road dedication. So that's not in this particular resolution. This only pertains to the physical detention ponds and the required apparatuses to control the water flow. There's also a petition in front of you for a water district formation, and that will be the dedication of the public water supply. And if the board chooses to accept these petitions and move forward, there'll be a need for establishing a public hearing date, and Mr. Chalky will be advised on that for that water district formation.
Tonight?
What is that?
He was talking about setting up the public hearing, we'll set up the public hearing.
Well, those are in the resolution.
Well, that's what I just was saying. I was just talking about the resolution. Obviously. Okay.
We're good.
We're good. The clearing and grading of Marie's Views project on Route 7, that's progressing. Half the buildings have been demolished. There's a high water table on site. They've been pumping a lot of water to try to get that down, even if it's all filling the basements. That will have to be observed, and the design parameters will have to be checked because there's areas of where they want to infiltrate, their design requires infiltration. So we need to not infiltrate into standing water. So we had that problem across the street, and we're going to adjust during construction. And hopefully that's the same case here. Any questions?
So the resolutions tonight are not to approve anything.
Not to approve, not to
Just to
approve,
accept the
just to accept the
petition.
positions and establish a
Yes.
public
Thank you.
hearing.
Thank you, Bill. I'll do a motion to approve Mr. Borelli's report. Can I have a second? Gordy, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All righty. Superintendent of Buildings Facilities Inspection, we'll change that title. Where are you, Kevin?
Good. So report for May 2025, we had 52 building and property inspections. We have 383 active building permits, 29 permits issued for renewed. We attended 8 meetings, 2 planning board meetings, 1 zoning board meeting. We had 1 fire inspection. We had 5 code complaints, 4 code complaints for call-out inspections for vacant or abandoned properties. 10 planning board projects or agendas, 7 zoning board projects or agendas, and 9 FOIL requests.
Any questions? Okay, motion for Kevin's report. All in favor?
Aye.
Tracy, got any reports for town historian?
Good evening, gentlemen. Over the past few months, I've been researching the veterans from the town of Brunswick, those who served in the U.S. Armed Forces. My goal is to compile as much information as possible to preserve their stories and eventually create an exhibit that honors their service and sacrifice. As part of the project, I will be reaching out to families of local veterans to ask if they would be willing to share their loved one's story, photos, letters, or memorabilia. I've already gathered many names and records from the Forest Park Cemetery, Endigo Mills Cemetery, along with a few scrapbooks that are related to World War II. Among the veterans that I found are several who made the ultimate sacrifice. In World War I, Private Bernard Miller, a native of Cropseyville, was killed in action on October 12, 1918, at the age of 22. He was in the 6th Marine Regiment during the Battle of Montbridge in France. Over 7,000 men were killed in that battle, and he is buried in France. In World War II, Army Corporal Charles Bell was killed in action on December 28, 1942, during the Battle of Guadalcanal. He was only 25 years old. He and his family lived on Crick Road. Seaman Second Class Willard Bolson died on March 19, 1945, at the age of 28, when the USS Franklin was struck by 2 bombs from a Japanese dive bomber. 807 crew members died that day. Willard, who lived in Center Brunswick with his wife, was buried at sea. He was part of 4 invasions and 2 other sea battles. Two of his brothers also served in World War I, and they came home. Their second lieutenant, William H. Cole, he was killed in action on June 4th, 1944 in Rome while serving in the 636th Tank Destroyer Battalion. He is buried in Italy, and he was awarded the Silver Star, which is the United States' 3rd highest award exclusively for combat valor. Electrician's mate 3rd Class Leland McCabe was killed on May 29, 1944 at the age of 21 when the USS Barr, a destroyer escort, was torpedoed in the Atlantic by a German submarine. And the last one I have is Private First Class H. Oakley Sharp Jr., who was killed in action on November 15, 1944 during the Battle of the Bulge. He served in the 110th Infantry Regiment, the 28th Division. His body was returned home after the war, and he left behind a wife. So if anyone has any information, photos, or stories related to Brunswick veterans, especially those who served in the Korean War or Vietnam, I would love to hear from you. So it's going to be an ongoing project. So, any questions? Comments?
Thank you. Entertain a motion for Tracy's report.
I'll make it.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
All right.
Tom, recycling coordinator, come on up.
Good evening. Recycling for May, blue bags purchased at the center. We had 433 at $3 for $1,299. Blue bags purchased from vendors, 800 for $2,040. Purple bags purchased at the center, 152 at $2 for $203. Bale cardboard, 7.26 tons at a penny a pound for $145. Our metal, light iron, and tin, we had 4.16 tons at $134 and 156 gross ton for $477. Our miscellaneous, we had large and small appliances, 10, 3 tires, 3 ACs for $164, which gave us revenues of $4,329. The expenses, refuse landfill, 18.13 tons at $110 a ton for $2,921. Single stream recycling, 9.82 tons at $50 a ton for $991, and gave us expenses of $3,912. The total amount recycled in landfill for May was 39.37 tons.
Okay, question? Okay, a motion for Tom's report?
I'll make it. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sarah, Brunswick Community Library. All right, Sarah.
I'm good, how are you?
Good thing.
I'm usually short, but I have a little bit to say tonight, so I'll try to
That's
not
okay,
take too long.
we're rolling pretty fast,
Okay.
so it's good shape.
So, first of all, I want to introduce Therese Boyette. She's my trustee with me tonight. Thank you for being here, Therese. And second of all, last night we were at an award ceremony with Upper Hudson.
Nice.
Alex Duggan, my board president, one trustee of the year, I'll just she looks fabulous. And we just want to thank you, yes. We want to thank her for all of her hard work. She has done amazing work at our library. She was chosen as trustee of the year from 36 libraries in all of Rensselaer and Albany County for her exceptional work supporting our library, with her architecture work, with her special work on our community garden, all of her support for our community programs, everything she has done to help make us a special place in this community. And we are so grateful for her and her dedication every single day. She couldn't be here tonight, but thank you, Alex, for making the library what it is. We are
Very
so
nice.
proud of you. So she's our trustee of the year. I have a few other thank yous. Gavin Landscaping donated 2 fruit trees to our library, so I'd like to officially thank them. We now have 3 apple trees and 1 peach tree at our library. They are all a little young, so we probably won't have fruit to share quite yet, but we're really excited about how our garden is growing. And we've been really wanting to expand our outdoor space to be usable and enjoyable for the community. We had a bench donated for Tom Mahoney last year. This year, we had a memorial bench donated in memory of Jennifer Mann from the Brunswick Democratic Community. It is beautiful. We are so happy to have another bench for our patrons to sit on. And our community also came out, her friends and family have planted a new garden in her honor, so the library is a little more beautiful. We actually got so many flowers donated. We ran out of space in the plot that we set aside. So she's very, very beloved. We are going to have to make some new flower beds at our library to fit all of the flowers that people brought out. And apparently the library is now an official influencer because Hollywood, who we got our benches and special furniture from, donated a buddy bench to the library. We were selected as their one organization for the month of Earth Day to win an eco-friendly buddy bench where people can sit and make friends at the bench. They can sit and read, watch their kids play in our playhouse. And the package came in and said influencer delivery. So we felt pretty cool that day. We're officially influencers. And if you are a library patron, you probably got a letter saying that, hey, a bunch of stuff in our building broke. We're doing some fundraising. Our AC broke last summer. Our sign broke and our septic system failed. So we were told that we need a septic upgrade. So I have great news, our AC has been repaired, which is great after all those 90-degree days. We are still working towards that septic upgrade and repaired sign, but our fundraising is going really well. So I just want to thank everyone, thank you, who has donated to our library. It has been wildly helpful. All of those 80 and 90-degree days, the AC is working, so please don't be afraid to come to our building. It is feeling great now. And the other big announcement I have is that summer reading starts on June 30th. So the week after school ends, we will have our game boards ready for our kids and any grown-ups who want to take part, and we will have reading prizes. We're really excited about it. We hope everyone will come join us. We had a few hundred readers last year, and we read so much together, so we hope we can do the same this summer. I'll be really quick with the numbers. For library services, we had 2,573 visitors. We answered 443 reference questions. Our study spaces were used 369 times. Our items were checked out 6,848 times, and our programs were attended 947 times. Special upcoming programs, Herb Club is having their picnic time on June 18th. They're going to be sharing recipes and different things that you can make with herbs and fresh garden vegetables. And we're having the USS Slater come out to present the history of their living museum on June 26th at 6 p.m. We're having an intro to Qigong on June 30th at 6 p.m. And obviously, the summer meeting starts on June 30th. So that is everything I have for you. Do you have any questions?
Feel free to take a long time, every time you put all the good news, so that's good.
Yeah, so a little longer than normal. Thank you for letting me talk.
I do miss your sign. Doesn't look right.
No, it broke, and
I know.
unfortunately, the technology they use for that sign is outdated. They don't make that kind of sign.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
The new, really fancy TV ones are wildly expensive and out of our budget, but we are gonna get a really nice, big, easily readable vinyl sign, because we've gotten a lot of complaints from people that where our Brunswick Library text is, it's a little too small for people driving by on Route 2 to read because they're going so fast. So like a lot of people from out of the area or who just haven't visited the library before have a hard time spotting us. So we're gonna get a really nice large one. And we are so grateful to everyone who has helped us raise money to hit our building goals.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, entertain a motion. A second, please. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Kevin, Mrs. Eddie's here, correct?
Yes.
You want to do a warm up or?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
I'd like to have the clerks, they show this was made and things like that, and publications and all that business.
Oh, about the demolition?
Are you involved in that, Rebecca?
The demolition?
Pardon?
Not really, but I have, I do have proof of, serving and stuff like that, so.
Well, normally when you,
Um,
normally we would. place
right.
that on the record.
Right, and this was handled slightly different, but, so at the last meeting, Resolution 39 of 2025 was passed, and that established tonight's public hearing for, it was a resolution determining that premises at 180 McChesney Avenue is unsafe and dangerous and should be demolished, and setting a hearing related to this matter, and so hence therefore here we are. I do have an affidavit of posting for personnel service, and this was when Mr. Manello served, it looks like personally served the notice to the owner, and it was also posted outside. We didn't have to publish this in the newspaper, but it was posted in the, I believe, on the website and on the town sign board.
Right, it's less important now that Mrs. Eddie is here, so it's less important, but I just thought it was important that it be put on the record that the steps to initiate this hearing were followed by the town.
Sure, and it also was mailed, first-class certified mail as well to the resident.
Thank you.
Kevin, you want to grab that microphone,
Yeah, so,
please?
so
Excuse me.
as you guys know, this 180 McChesney Avenue was a house that caught fire, and it was inspected by our office and also by town engineer William Olmsted, determined that the structure was not salvageable. At the time, we could not reach Mrs. Eddy. She was displaced from her home, we had no contact information, so we moved ahead to have the house demolished because we felt it was unsafe. And since then, Mrs. Eddy was able to get a hold of us, and we've been in contact with her. Now she does have a plan. She has shown us that she does have insurance now, so we have talked to the insurance adjuster. So essentially, she's here basically to approach the board and explain to them what her plan is moving forward with the structure. In lieu of us demolishing it, she wants to take over the operation. So I'll let her touch on that.
Yeah, basically, it was just,
Talk right in that microphone if you would.
it was a bit of, a lot of work with the insurance company, and it's just not an overnight process, getting the funding of it. They had, some other things they had to do with other end, that it's taking time, which has been resolved. So I'm basically just waiting for the building portion, payment. And I do have a contractor that I'm gonna be working with, I'm gonna get a permit, to do the demolition. I do want to rebuild, so I want to keep the foundation intact and strip it down to concrete. And then I'm not going to create an actual architectural building plan until I know what kind of exact funding I'm working with, because it just doesn't make sense to know what I'm building without a dollar amount.
So your plans are to take it down
Take
to
it
the
down.
foundation?
Down to the foundation, yep, rip off all the sheet rock in the basement and just have the concrete foundation stay intact. Everything else removed.
I think probably the board question is we just need to know if you got an idea about a time frame on that, how long you think it's gonna take you?
My adjuster said that he had already submitted, the request for the check to be processed for the building portion. Obviously, that's the largest amount. Once that comes in, I'll be able to work with, start any type of parameters. The demo, the rebuild, the architecture.
Because I know it starts in April, I think what we don't wanna see is have it there for a year or something, safety wise.
That's definitely not gonna happen. He's already, with a rushing also.
Yeah.
And I did submit, my first page for my contract also, so I don't care where the money comes from, I can start the process on my own. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
doesn't have to be from one or the other. It's just gonna be a lot of stress. So
So you're thinking a few months or whatever,
I'm thinking, like within 2 weeks, that I should be able to
have an idea?
have the demolition started, as long as the permit is,
Okay.
so, I know that's gonna take a little time too, but I should have a check within a week or two to be able to get the demolition
Because
started.
the house has been secured,
Yeah,
so danger wise.
yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, I didn't know it was condemned at first, but we read the clarification.
You got hit pretty hard there.
It's
Terrible.
just,
Not much left there, so. Kevin, any other concern, questions?
No, I think it's reasonable to give her a month or two to get started.
yeah, I'm really just waiting for the insurance
Okay.
to get a check. So.
I have spoken to the adjuster, so
Yeah.
proof that she is progressing. So,
Okay. I think that's all we need to know at this point.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe she has some questions for the board, for Kevin.
Not yet, not so I can just get the demo started.
Well, we appreciate you coming out tonight too.
Oh, I needed to, I want to put electrical back on the site. And I did have an appointment with National Grid to come on the 23rd, but they canceled it for some reason. So obviously I put in a meter, right there isn't gonna be a great idea at this point, because I don't even know what the structure's gonna be. And I just don't know if the town would have an issue with me putting a meter on any building behind my.
We're gonna have her.
I just know that,
yeah, important.
yeah, great,
He's a gentleman you want to
Yeah.
keep coordinating with.
yeah, great, just to make it easier. All right, all right, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, thank you for coming. All right. Okay, we'll go right into resolutions. Rebecca?
Resolution number 46 of 2025, resolution authorizing the town of Brunswick to participate in the NICLAS program under the terms of NICLAS Municipal Cooperation Agreement.
Offer it. Second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Sullivan and seconded by Councilman Christian. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution number 47 of 2025, resolution scheduling a public hearing on a proposed franchise agreement between the town and Spectrum Northeast LLC, a subsidiary of Charter Communications Incorporated, on a proposed franchise agreement for cable television service.
I'll offer it. We gotta schedule this?
I can, yeah, I'll second it. Yeah, we got scheduled for, in the resolution, it says July 10th at 7. Was it? Okay.
All right, the foregoing resolution has been offered by Supervisor Harrington and seconded by Councilman Sullivan. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted. The public hearing is scheduled for July 10, 2025 at 7 p.m. here in the Brunswick Town Hall. Resolution number 48 of 2025, resolution adopting 2025 Town Highway Plan.
I'll make it.
I'll second it.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Sullivan and seconded by Supervisor Harrington. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution number 49 of 2025, resolution to accept the water and sewer maintenance roll for the period of June 30th, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, February billing 2025, water, sewer, and sewer 6 roll.
Offer it. I'll second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Sullivan and seconded by Councilman Balistrary. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution 50 of 2025, resolution to accept the water and sewer maintenance roll as amended for the period of June 30th, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, February billing 2025, water, sewer, and sewer 6 roll.
I'll offer it. Second.
Foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Christian and seconded by Councilman Sullivan. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution number 51 of 2025, resolution scheduling a public hearing on the proposed establishment of an ambulance tax district for the town of Brunswick.
I'll offer it. I'll second it.
Before we vote, Lars, do you want to bring us up a little bit of speed on this?
Sure. As most folks know, the Town Public Safety Committee has been working very hard on the EMS response in the town of Brunswick. More recently, we sent out requests for information to all surrounding agencies, ambulance agencies around the town of Brunswick, as well as Mohawk Ambulance and Ambulance, which are the two that have operating authority in the town. Based on the information we collected, we created a map plan report, which explains the history and all the different parts of what it will take for that to happen. And that is available on the website. And in order to do this, we would like to set up a public hearing on July 9th for any questions that folks may have regarding this map plan report, once they review it.
Can I just say something real quick?
Sure.
Rebecca, it looks like something got clipped off on the second page. There's like the thing that says like the foregoing resolution or foregoing. At least in my copy.
Okay, pass you mine.
Pardon me?
It's all
No,
there.
So it's there?
Oh, yeah.
Not here.
No,
All right, okay.
not on mine.
No.
No.
Where's the,
And there's a packet as well that follows. The,
The actual map plan.
right.
okay, all right, I see. Sorry.
We'll do it.
All right. The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Balistrary and seconded by Councilman Sipperly. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian. Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted.
That date is July 9th at 7 PM, right?
Yes, at the Center Brunswick Firehouse across the road. So we have more space. There may not be enough room.
It's more like here, so I,
Yeah, and it's court night here, correct.
You did
Resolution,
it without you, Paul. I said, we just scheduled that without you. We're good.
resolution number 52 of 2025, resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute a contract for record scanning services with eBiz Docs.
How long? Second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Christian and seconded by Councilman Sullivan. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted. Resolution number 53 of 2025, resolution and order accepting petition for extension of Town of Brunswick Consolidated Water District and scheduling public hearing.
Offer it. Second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Councilman Sullivan and seconded by Councilman Christian. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly. Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted.
And this is for July 10th. This is our next meeting at 7:05 PM. Right?
Is that what it said then?
Yeah.
7:05?
7:05.
Resolution number 54 of 2025, resolution and order accepting petition for establishment of the Brunswick Acres subdivision, Brunswick Drainage District, and scheduling public hearing.
I'll offer it.
Second.
The foregoing resolution has been offered by Supervisor Harrington and seconded by Councilman Christian. Roll call vote, Councilman Sipperly.
Aye.
Councilman Christian.
Aye.
Councilman Sullivan.
Aye.
Councilman Balistrary.
Aye.
Supervisor Harrington.
Aye.
This resolution is adopted.
All good?
Yeah, what's the date for the public hearing is it's listed in the resolution, sorry. Oh, it looks like the public hearing is scheduled for July 10th at 7:10 PM.
A lot of paperwork up here tonight.
Yeah.
Okay, should mention before, our town attorney, Mr. Gruenberg, is not with us tonight because he's being honored for 50 years being in law practice, correct, Tom?
Correct.
So we quickly asked Mr. Chalky to send in, so thank you. You got 50 years?
Nope.
No?
He's older than me.
I think he got 60, I'm not sure. Okay. Old business, we got any old business? Any new business? Warrant,
I make a motion to pay our bills.
One second.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we'll open up comments from the visitors. Last month, to me, I think, we kind of got carried away. All these years, I get a lot of pressure to try to limit the 5 minutes when people speak. And I take great pride in, I figure people take the time to come to these meetings. I don't try to limit the 5 minutes. Always been able to handle that. But I think we got out of here after 10 o'clock last time. And people were talking for like 45 minutes. And some people that were here want other subjects and then get a chance. So I'm still not going to put a time on this, but I'm going to ask people to try to limit the 5 minutes. As I mentioned, it's not really a question and answer. If you got something you want to bring to the board's attention, come forward. But I want to keep this rolling a little bit. So with that, any visitors who wish to speak? Come on up.
Good evening, Patty Spraga. Do you see our address? Brunswick Hill. Anyway, I found for you $183,200.
You found?
Mhm.
Oh, that's nice.
It is,
Carry on.
in a sense. I wrote to the town on May 19th about the findings of a FOIL request. I went into great detail about my findings. I'm not going to do that tonight. But what I am going to do is tell you how much money you have overpaid people for hours that they have not worked. People are getting paid for time they have not worked. They don't have to use the time clock. They don't fill out their own time sheets. These are hourly workers that some are under contract to meet certain criteria under CSEA Local 1000, and they're not. So with one employee who leaves early 1 hour every day, he's been overpaid $1,820 a year. Over 25 years, that's $45,500. You have another person who nobody supervises, never ever uses a time card, time clock, puts in whatever time he wants. By my calculation, he's overpaid by 10 hours every time period. That calculates to $210 per paycheck, $5,400 a year. Over his career, that's $136,000. Now you have full-time, regular union people working in the recycling center on Saturday, in addition to the regular staff. And these guys are getting overtime, which is fine, they earned it. But they only work for 7 hours and they're getting paid for 8. I do not understand, and I have looked high and low, and I've asked the town to respond to me, and no one did, as to how you do that. There is nothing that I can find in any information anywhere that says it's okay to pay hourly public employees for time they do not work. So, if that continues with the overtime, at the end of 25 years, it'll be $240,000. These are our tax dollars, and I personally feel that restitution is owed to the people of Brunswick for the overpayment to these people. Now, I do not fault the individuals alone, because there's a bookkeeper, there's a payroll, there's a whole bunch of process that goes on, and someone should be checking this, and it should be verified. So I don't know what gives you the right to pay people for time they haven't worked, for time that can't be verified, to ignore the union contract and apply inconsistent time and attendance rules to hourly employees, to allow and encourage inconsistent use of the time clock for some employees, and to tolerate and compensate for failure to complete one's own time card. This is, in my opinion, unacceptable. It's probably criminal. And it's definitely unethical. So I would like to know what you plan to do about it and when you plan to correct the situation. I don't expect an answer tonight because I know this is not a dialogue, but I did ask for a response prior to tonight. So I wanted to make sure that you were all aware and had seen my letter and knew that this was on the table. And it's not a threat, but when I called the county to see what action I could take, if there were steps that could be taken, the answer that they gave me was to do what they did in All the President's Men.
I'm sorry, to do what then?
Do what they did in All the President's Men,
What exactly was that?
called media. And that's not something I'm not sure that's something I really want to do.
To do what?
Call media, like say, hey,
Oh,
guess
media?
what? Is that something we want? You want this in the newspaper? I hope not. I think you can fix this. You should. Thank you.
Okay. We'll respond to that a little bit later. Anybody else at this point? Lana?
Victoria Galvin. I still have some questions and concerns with the Marie's Muse project that's going on. For one, we went over at the last planning meeting what the hours were going to be, 6:30 to 6, Monday through Friday, and 8 to 4 on Saturdays. Will we be notified if the developer is given approval for any additional hours? And if they do not follow these guidelines, who do I contact or what do I do? Just because, for example, this morning I woke up to the sound of the backup beeping trucks and the equipment arriving and things being unloaded at 5:45. So I just looked. I also want to know if we have any idea if the before photos of our street were ever actually taken. Again, from the last planning meeting, it was told that whoever would be responsible if it was done through the town was too busy, so they asked that the developer would be the one to take the pictures. I personally haven't witnessed anyone taking the pictures. I realize I could have missed it. But I'm just concerned because I just can't even imagine like a business asking like the person who would be paying for the damages to be responsible to like really correctly document the before state of things. And I took pictures, but I know I've submitted some pictures from things in the past and just don't feel like they've been taken super seriously. So I just want to make sure that they were done. I'm also still gonna harp on the fact that I would really like to preserve our neighborhood and not have a road outlet onto Mohawk Avenue. I still don't feel like I've been given a real answer why of the many other options that we have provided, that none of those are applicable as a solution. And I will give you even one more. I would rather see Mohawk Avenue closed off and a dead end be made at my lower driveway, just to not have to worry about the through traffic that we no doubt will have. So I would just like to offer that as one more solution. And we can all use Roosevelt Avenue because we were also told that that Mohawk Avenue is wide enough to accommodate any of the trucks and things that would be coming in to make deliveries. And on Wednesday, I couldn't turn up into our street because there's a Mack truck that, I mean, he wasn't sitting in the middle, he was sitting in his lane, but he was just literally too wide for another car to pass on the other side. And I just wanted to make a point to just say, I mean, I know that you're all aware that I'm very frustrated and disappointed and angry over the situation, but I just feel like the way that the attitude and the tone of responses of things a few times just really kind of like put it over the edge. I mean, the last time I was here and spoke with you, the only solution or step that was possibly given to me was to get my own lawyer. And again, you're my elected representatives that I feel like are supposed to be looking out for our best interests. And it just really made me sad to think that that was all that you could give me to do. And also at the last planning board meeting, when they were going over these hour restrictions, someone who doesn't need to be named, but they had said 6:30, a few people had said, I don't know, that still seems kind of early, and somebody laughed and said, well, it's better than 4 a.m. It's like, okay, well, I would like you to gas station or a McDonald's or whatever being built across the street from you, and you're not going to. So it just feels like you aren't even taking that into consideration. And my last concern, as part from the construction there, I know, Mike, you were talking about the mowing that was going on. This is nothing against you, it was just I contacted things yesterday to leave a message, and I haven't heard, so I just wanted to bring it up. Whoever was mowing went through over Fayette Avenue. We have a big bank that I don't mow any longer. I've, over the last couple of years, have bought lots and lots of plants and flowers to make it like a nice wild space there. We take care of it. I mow along like the road, so nothing is like sprawling over. We always mow so that our neighbors can get to their mailboxes. And it looks like you can see like the arm of the mower just went way down. I mean, the one section far further than any other part along the property line. And it just absolutely decimated everything that I have planted and been working on all this time. Even some of like the wild wooded, like viney stuff that are in like more of like our, I don't know, our woods, but it's like a tree line where that part was untouched. And then it was like solely where I had planted everything. So I'm just saying, the only hack job was done where I had like over $200 worth of plants and all of this time and effort put in. And I was just wondering if something can be done because, again, trying to make things look as nice and beautiful as possible so I can try to ignore the horrendousness across the street. And just every time I turn around, there's something new. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, anybody else at this point? Oh,
Sue Tolan's 10 Miller Road. I just wanted to take a minute and thank Mark Bellister and Mark Sipperly and the members of the Public Safety Committee who have really put a lot of time and effort in developing a plan to provide a dedicated ambulance service to the town of Brunswick. And I've talked to several of my neighbors. No one was aware that there wasn't a dedicated ambulance service. And some of them were very upset about it. So I think you and the members of the committee, the fire department, the EMS, and the responders have really taken something that needed to be done for the town and are really bringing it forward. And I appreciate your work and the work of the town to get this up there in public. The other thing is about minutes. Did we approve the minutes from last month? Did I miss that? And did we approve the minutes from April that were supposed to come back? Because
I didn't see that on my agenda, so I just.
there was some amendments that are changes to the April minutes, because nobody approved them, because you didn't like them, and then I don't see any minute approvals on the agenda for this month.
Yeah, I did miss it for this month, to be honest with you, so. Tom, we got approved these minutes legally, or to put you on the spot here?
Yeah, no, well, usually the town clerk has to prepare the minutes and she has a deadline when they have to be done. It doesn't technically require approval by the town board, but it's encouraged by the Committee of the Open Government that the minutes be approved. And it's also suggested by the Committee of the Open Government that if there's changes proposed, that they be considered, and that the minutes always be done in a way that's, equitable and everyone's treated the same, all subjects are treated the same and things like that. So, I mean, if the board does not approve them, it doesn't mean that the minutes don't exist. What the Committee on Open Government suggests is that if the board doesn't approve a set of minutes, that they be marked that they're tentative or pending approval or something like that. But if they're not, I would think that the minutes would still stand.
So I guess my question is, in my work experience, that there are draft set of minutes sent to the members of a group, whoever has this group, and that group decides if the minutes are acceptable or not, and then they come to the meeting and they get approved. And if they're not acceptable in the draft format, then the group works on them before the public meeting to make them acceptable. And so, we still, I don't know, there was a lot of contention over the April minutes, and then I don't think
And I
minutes
know
of
we-
last month.
That I know-
What do you do if there's a disagreement?
Well, then you can say that, we adjusted them, I don't know, we're not approving them as written because there's some discrepancies that we can't come to terms on, but you have to address that, I would think, somehow written in a document. So if somebody comes back and looks for the minutes, say, they can at least see they were presented, not agreed upon.
I know, I made some suggestions, so what I like to do is go back and look at them. Make sure that they got changed.
Yeah.
And to,
Suggestions? No,
But I think,
no one has communicated to me one way or the other, so he's
Oh,
just said he made a
during the meeting.
suggestion,
Yeah.
but I'm
so
unaware.
again, I don't know that we have to have the discussion here tonight,
No, that's fine.
but I'm thinking amongst the group, you gotta be able to come to a consensus of what should be in the minutes.
okay,
And that would be my suggestion, so that when you come here, if there is a disagreement, truthfully, you're not airing your dirty laundry in this meeting, right? So I would think you would come together and come up with a consensus about what the minutes should say. So but again, my main purpose is to thank these guys, I don't wanna get off track.
yeah, don't get off track.
And the other folks in the committee, and Dr. Hayashi.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else at this point? Come on up, sir.
I'm Louis Sutter, 228 White Church Road. I went back years, there's a lot of complaints about the recycling department. From all my use of it, you want to know some recycling department. Going back from before we started, it was there, they've always been state of the art. They get rid of a lot of stuff, it's tremendous service to the town. It's just, you can't get rid of it anywhere else, forget about paying to get rid of it. And all seems to be done, it's nice to meet, all seems to be done on a shoestring budget. You know more about the budget than me to know how much it's worth, what the service is. Some people don't complain about recycling. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, anybody else at this point?
Mary Beth Bruno. I wanted to make some comments on the April planning board meeting. I know a little time has passed, but I think it's worth mentioning that the Marine Use application, everyone knows, was approved, but the planning board approved 8 variances. These variances were in favor of the developer, again, not in favor of the people that live in that neighborhood or the people that travel on Hoosick Road. I feel our whole community's repeating ourselves, history's repeating ourselves over and over again. We're watching our neighborhoods get destroyed or disrupted by these developments, and no one is taking the time to look at the implications and the impacts on the neighborhoods. And you're not listening to all those people that are coming in and talking about their concerns and how it's affecting them. There was a single letter of support in favor of the certain variances, and that seems to be the only consideration that the planning board took, because they didn't listen to all the people and all of their concerns. It went through. So I'd just like to point that out. Again, this has happened, and I've only been coming to board meetings for a very short period of time. This is one of the, at least the 3rd development that's come through crushed neighborhoods. Everyone's up in an uproar on Hoosick Road, and yet it's just gonna happen again unless you as the elected officials do something. So I want to make an observation that I appreciate that everyone's here and listens to people who are speaking, but I don't see anybody taking a note or talking to each other or saying, what can we do so this doesn't happen again? And I don't know how this board operates, if there's an exec session or something, but is action ever taken after you hear about all these people who are concerned, specifically, sorry, Victoria, who I don't even know, and I can't help but
think that could be me, you know? Just like the people behind, off of Goodman, Lord Avenue, et cetera. Think about all the people that were impacted by these developments, and now we're grocery shopping on a cornfield, you know? We didn't need that. Of course, there's also, solar farm is in discussion right now. It's on the planning board's, and zoning board's agenda. Again, please stop the variances. All these zoning regulations were put in place to protect our residents and our property. We are a farming town. Keep us a farming town. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else at this point? Going once, going twice? Nobody else? Let me just quickly, just make a couple quick comments here. First, let's, are we okay? We do the warrant?
Yeah.
We're in the end, aren't we? I'm making so many notes here, I'm losing track of what I'm doing, to be honest with you, so. I didn't go to that planning board meeting, except the hours, I didn't watch it on TV. I know it started out, work hours was like 8 to 5 or whatever, and then all of a sudden they adjusted the planning board to 6 o'clock, which I thought pretty early, but it said, the members mentioned, we're gonna do that. Normally, the construction is really 8 to 3 when they're working. However, when they have a project such as that, they might have to bring in equipment, and usually the equipment gets there before the workers, so it's a possibility somebody might show up at 7 o'clock, not every day, but if they bring a piece of equipment in, and they made, that was a reason for making it 6. They didn't really, my understanding, didn't expect these construction guys to start at 6, more like 8 to 3. And that's exactly what happened. They're set for 6, and all of a sudden they come at 5:45. I don't know what that's about, you know?
Well, it's gonna be 7, and they said we'll make it 6:30, so that way we won't get phone calls or whatever. when
I
it's
thought they said
a little
6
before.
on it.
So
Yeah.
they made it 6:30, and now they're still coming 45 minutes earlier than
Yeah.
that.
We would be able to address that with Kevin, with our building guy. That is pretty early. I know they give a buffer there, but that's early, so. Okay? The other thing I want to mention, I got all excited when Mrs. Sabrega got up and said she found a couple $100,000 for us. Thought that would be a good start with the ambulance, to be honest with you. However, too good to be true. That's about what's happening here. Let's just mention her main concern, I believe, as she pointed out, in the recycling, this history for Saturday for the union workers. They start at 7 and they leave at 2 to get paid at 3. She mentioned that I did that to benefit my son who works there. That's a little bit tough, but that's not true. I've dealt with a union for a long, long time, and I addressed that. I asked our union person, the representative. We tracked it all the way back into the 90s. I can show you Mr. Naples when he was here. People by the name of Joe Avarelli. Some of you know old timers here, but some of you know Joe. And Bobby Happ, people way back before my son and everybody else. I don't know why Romeo, as supervisor, did that, whether he couldn't find somebody to work on Saturday, so he said, I'll pay you an extra hour. But Patty's well aware, because her husband was a Teamster. The union, what's known as past practice, and we've tested that before. Once they do something, and I'm talking back to the 90s, we can't, it's past practice. Union-wise, that's practice. We can't change it. I guess I can prove the facts by just not paying or whatever, but past practice is past practice. We can't change that. So,
I don't believe
so,
that's true.
uh,
That's not true. That's not true.
come on, it is true.
It is not true.
Now, the other thing is, let me just point out, gotta admit here, and I was gonna bring this up, Patty's husband, Lynn, worked. We hired him, thought it was a good idea to work on Saturdays, because he always came on Saturdays, he kind of helped, and I said, Lynn, would you like to get paid? Because another adult there would be nice. So we hired her husband. He worked for a few months. He said, I want to take Mr. Angster's job. I said, that's not going to happen. He was not happy. He left, and ever since then, it's been war in the recycling department. So it's just a personal thing. With that, I'm going to take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Cowards,
No.
liars.
I never mentioned pictures.
I don't want to make a big deal about it. But this is what I'm saying. And this one here, and it's for a very important resolution.
Right.
I just want to make sure that it's in there. See?
You're right, you're right.
So, it doesn't matter, because you did it, you said the word.
Okay,
But
but
it's
I'm
not
gonna
in
make
the
sure.
resolution.
Right,
good?
I didn't even
Everything's
notice that.
fine, everything's great. Yeah, you're doing well now. Yes. I sent you my report, did you get?
Yes, I did.
Okay.